here at the Prince Philip House. It's great to see you all here for the final event and the culmination of the Leaders in Innovation Fellowships program. Most of you already know me, but for those watching us remotely, my name is Christina Lisi, and I'm the community manager for the Leaders in Innovation Fellowship program. So we're streaming this session live. So I'd like to say hello and welcome to the Academy to everyone who's watching us remotely. Fellows, we are broadcasting your pitches to 16 countries in our global network. Why we're doing this is because we want you to start building your network outside this room, and we will also be sharing with you the recordings of this presentation afterwards. Now, over the last 2 weeks, you've had lots of training, you've learned a lot, you've developed your hard and soft skills, you've learned from peers, the mentors have supported you and dedicated to supporting you and your innovation. You've heard from other entrepreneurs and you've learned hopefully a bit more about yourselves and each other. Today is when you put all that knowledge together into 3 minutes of utter brilliance. So I'm really looking forward to see that. Just remembering about our audiences back home, feel free to tweet, feel free to comment on our YouTube channel. Our channel on Twitter is @rangeglobal, and use our hashtag #InnovationLeaders. Now turning to our judging panel, the people that will be assessing today your 3 minutes of brilliance are CEOs, CSOs, people with lots of academic and industry experience. And I'd like
I've started up 2 companies myself, coming from an academic background. The latest company, Fitness Genes, we just raised our Series A of $5 million last year, which was very exciting. So I guess I'm just a little bit further along, hopefully, than yourselves, but I'm sure it won't take you long to catch up, and I'm looking forward to seeing your progress. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ian Ritchie. I started a company in the 80s, which we sold to Panasonic in 1990. Since then, I've been involved in about 50 startups as an angel investor and as a non-executive director. And I'm currently chairman of Tern, which is a London-based investment company.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Barrow. I'm a professor of microfluidics at Cardiff University. So I'm employed, but I've been self-employed as a potter for 10 years. I set up 3 companies, so I've co-founded those 3 companies. Psychometrically, I'm a plant in a team. I've researched many different things, and good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Nigel Clark. I started my own company in 2004, which I then sold 10 years later, and I'm now the CEO of a company called Morgan Innovation, which helps design and develop mainly medical products that are going to make an impact on society. Best of luck to everyone today.
Thank you.
We'll have 3 minutes for your pitch. He will give you a cue when your time at 1 minute, and then a stop sign when you need to finish. You will have a few more seconds to end your talk at that point. I will be interrupting your pitches if you overrun, just to keep it fair for all the participants here today. I will also be announcing the person that's up next. Please make your way towards the back of the room to put your mics on. You all know the pitch order, so be prepared. The judges, you'll all have 4 minutes for Q&A. Please also keep in time. I'll be timing that as well. And We will have half an hour break at 11 and we'll continue with the remaining pitches afterwards. When all the pitches are finished, my colleagues will take you downstairs for lunch. During this time, the judges will be deliberating and they will pick the best 3 pitchers for each country. This will be announced later this evening at the award ceremony. So I know that it's already nerve-wracking to do a pitching, but it's also a competition. So bring out your competitive selves and do your best today. Okay, so have you got any questions? That's great. Then we're going to start, and the first one is Aza. We'll start with the pitches now. Please come up front, and good luck.
Hello, good day everyone. I'm Azza, I'm the founder of Quranverse Verifier. These are some of the Quran texts that are available online. Notice, the last one is without a notation. Now, Quran without a notation brings possible problems and misinterpretation. So what's really the problem? Now, it happens to me one day that my daughter, she came back very, very upset about some discussion over Facebook where Quran texts was misinterpreted, and it leads to many possible bad discussion about it. So what happened? We sat down, and it took a long time for us to basically go through the physical Quran to understand and make sense out of it. So really, it's not convenient to navigate. It's really hard to make sense in the physical Quran. So this is just one scenario to my daughter. Imagine if there are 1.8 billion Muslim users out there who has the same problem like what happened to my daughter. So it will basically create macro-level issues, which is polarization of society and radicalization of individual. So these motivate me to come up with what I call Quranverse Verifier. It uses Facebook as a platform. My daughter Ain, over there, with very big smile, happened to be able to get the Quran text and pass it over to a specific database and get all the translation that she requires. And now I have one very happy customer. These are our team members. It consists of advisors, development team, and our founders. So I have advisors in the Quran content. He is an expert, social media users, and the development team. This is our timeline. So basically, we have finished the first, second, third, and fourth. We're basically able to get awarded in one competition in Malaysia. Basically 2 competitions in Malaysia. So now we are concentrating on the 5th phase, which is industry and external collaboration. So what do I want? This is what I want. I asked for £100,000 for seed funding, whereby I will focus on customer acquisition, staff salaries, and product improvement and development. At the end of the day, my sale forecast will be initial market Malaysia, forecasting 2 million users and revenue of 400,000 users in Malaysian market. With that, I thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Who's ready to ask questions?
Can I ask you your business model for the product? Is it a product that you pay to use, or how do you collect revenue?
Okay, so there are 2 types of revenue generation that we foresee. There is pay per subscription, and advertisement. So in pay per subscription, there's 2 modes. There is normal user, individual user, and academic or professional, where they will use it oftenly. So, use by usage. So that's how it's going to be. And advertisement, yes, we're trying to find a best advertisement that can suit in that physical environment, in that environment. So we really have to choose what type of advertisement that is applicable to that specific application.
Okay.
Do you have any competitors at all, such as Google Translate or any smaller?
Okay. There are different types of translation that are available in the market, but what we do is actually really focusing on a specific social media. So we actually created an API, which is now in a way to to have it filed for IP. And we know that it is not easy to get access to that Google straight away from FB. So we are actually embedding it into the platform. So that's what we do.
You touched on the IP there, and you mentioned an API. Could you expand a little bit more on what the IP is, what it is you've actually filed your patent on?
Okay, so for the initial stage, we basically send IP for copyright, and now we are actually focusing on improvement so that we will actually move forward with the patent that we have created. I mean, basically an API, specific API for that particular platform, and has it patent. So now it's just copyright. So soon we will move to IP, which is patent. Okay.
You had 50K on customer acquisition.
Yes.
What are you going to spend that on, roughly?
Okay. These are just these are our plans. We will actually focus for 1 year. Different types of customer acquisition strategies. The first one is SOE, and we also going to do social media type of customer acquisition, and finally physical customer acquisition, where we'll go to societies in Malaysia and have them understand about this particular application and get feedback. So we will require amount of £50,000 for that 1 year period. So that's what we are planning to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, judges. Thank you very much, Azar.
All right, thank you.
The next one coming up is...
Oh, okay. Thank you. So this is next.
Okay, so you've got 3 minutes. Good luck.
Okay. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Zuhra. I'm from HOLISTICS Lab Sdn Bhd, and our company focuses on halal industry. Everybody knows what is halal? If for those who doesn't know, halal is basically in Islam called permissible. So anything in regards with food, beverages, and other consumable products. Okay, so do you know that the halal market is huge? Okay, where the market total market value has reached $3 trillion. And the population of Muslim globally is 1.8 billion. Okay, but this is a huge market to penetrate in. But if you want to penetrate into this market, you need to be halal certified. Your company needs to be halal certified. How to be halal certified is not easy. You need to have the knowledge and the know-how before you can get halal certified. In Malaysia, even though our population majority of it is Muslim, but only 1% of SME is halal certified. And to make it worse, the halal professional that can help this company to be halal certified is also insufficient. So we have a solution to that, and we call it HACADEMY. HACADEMY is actually a digital platform for halal virtual learning environment and also talent matching. In HACADEMY, what we do, it is one-stop center for all trainings and information in regards with halal industry can be available. So as you can see in the screen, we have done significant improvement and also cost saving to differentiate our product to the current state. And yang paling penting adalah ianya dalam pelbagai bahasa. I'm sure you don't understand that, right? Okay, that because I said it in Malay. But if you subscribe into our platform, you can understand it because one of our features that we support multilingual. Okay, so this is our business model revenue. So it is from a commission, advertising, consultant and licensing, and also subscription fees. This is our team, Dr. Iskandar and myself. We have more than 8 years experience in human capital development and also halal industry. Okay, just let me share with you our key milestone and traction. We start as a research lab in 2009. We spun out as a spin-off company in 2015, and the recent achievement is we have signed a business contract with McDonald's Malaysia. So why we here? Because we want to seek for incentive amount of 36,000 USD to promote our product and do the marketing, to boost our marketing to the target that we are actually targeting. So that's it, thank you.
Let's give it up. Thank you. Any questions?
Maybe I missed it, but so if I enrolled on this platform, at the end of the process, would I be certified?
Okay, we have a different segment of customers that can enroll into this platform, whether you are a student, or you are a training providers, or whether you are a company that actually finding a competent person that want to work with you to get your company HALA certified. So there's a few segment of customers.
Sorry, so as a customer,
Yeah.
you know, a company wants certification.
Yes.
Does this provide me with a one-stop shop to do that?
Yes.
It does.
Yes, if you are a company,
Yeah.
and then you don't want to do it yourself, you want to find somebody that can help you to do it for you, you can go into our platform and find the competent person that can
Oh, I see.
do a
I
consultancy
thought that
as
you
well.
were like supplying all of that in one go.
We are not consultancy company.
Okay.
So just to clarify that, is there a certification process where you have to do a certification and prove your identity and do a test?
Yes, definitely. Because we need to be certified, and there is a certificated body that actually do the audits.
Yeah.
So to understand what are being audited, it needs this knowledge and information.
Okay.
So from here you can have that.
Oh, what are the consequences of not having a high enough level of certification? Because you mentioned the figure of 1%, which seems very low. And I'm thinking, does that mean it's very expensive for people to access these services? What would be the, what are you making better, I guess?
Okay. One thing is, at the moment, because there is no platform and it's all scattered everywhere, and then you have to really physically find it. And then on top of that, if for those, especially for SMEs, small, medium enterprises, they have little capital, right? So when they appoint a consultant, the consultant will charge it a lot. So at the end, it is very expensive, or it is hard to find, and you want to do it yourself without any of this knowledge, it will be very tedious and a long process.
Could I just copy your website and copy your business model and get away with it?
Well, of course, if you have the technology, you could, but the knowledge behind it, the network, because we're building a community, you see, and the community from this platform will be our strength for our innovation.
Can I just check what you're competing with? Presumably there are sort of study guides or booklets on how to, you know, the self-study type products.
Yes.
And what's the advantage of your product compared to those?
Understand. Actually, I have a comparison. I don't know whether I can show it here. This is what we have in Malaysia, but if you have it like internationally, we have also Udemy and also Coursera. But the thing is, we are our different, our niche as compared to them. We are actually also do talent matching, and we are actually building a community instead of just giving, VLE to our customer.
Sorry, I've forgotten what you were asking for. What are you asking for? Sorry, I forgot.
I'm asking for an incentive of $36,000 to boost our marketing, because it's already in place. So we want to boost our marketing and promoting our product to actually growth, to meet the growth that we're expecting in 2 years' time.
You jumped quite quickly through the revenue streams. Could you quickly just take us through those again, just so we can see where that's coming from? Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right, so we collect commission if there is student enrollment, because we have all the, because we have all the courses, training courses in regards to HALA in our platform. And then advertisement, of course, when we can also take advertisement into our platform. And consultation and fees, that is because we are not restricting to only our students. We are also opening up for other trainers to port their modules in our platform, so they can use our platform as a VLE, and also, of course, a subscription fee to the companies that actually want to find talent that can work in their companies.
That's it. Unfortunately, we have run out of time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, Leung, you're next, and Nurziana, please prepare. Okay, there's your clicker.
Let me try first.
Give it a second.
Can I try?
Give it a second. Okay.
Can I try first?
Yes. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You've got 3 minutes. Good luck.
Good morning, judges. My name is Wong, and my product is about the BioRec brick.
Do you mind standing on the end?
Why are the polar bears starving to death? The reason is global warming, because their food supply chain is disrupted. And one of the main contributors to global warming is the carbon emission to the atmosphere due to the brick manufacturing. And this is a problem of burnt clay bricks. And the problem is even exaggerated with the rising cost of the building materials. So my solution, BioRec bricks, is a green solution. And it applies the microbes from the soil, from the red clay, and it is mixed with the calcium carbonate and river sand to form a green bricks, BioRec brick wall panel at 0 carbon emission. And the technology is actually following the biological imitation of red granites. And the product is able to reach a strength of 27.9 MPa. Okay, and it is almost compatible with the burnt clay brick. Okay, and this is a roadmap to commercialization. Okay, we have done the fundamental studies in 2015, and we have secured the patent in 2017, and then in 2019, we will sign the memorandum of understanding with the GEIBS to build lightweight brick, BioRec brick panel for prefabricated structures. And in year 2020, we plan to initiate collaboration with the UK Construction Industry Council and brick manufacturers for the BioRec bricks. And definitely, the product has a high social economic impacts. Okay? In a sense that it can reduce the carbon emission. That implies it is better. It can induce better societal livability and reduce the economic burden of rising cost of living. And this is the marketing strategy. Okay? In UK, burnt clay brick is the major bricks that is applied, that has been used. Okay? So the market size is £2.03 billion. So the BioRec brick is 11.4% cheaper than the burnt clay bricks. And that means the saving will be for 0.11 billion. Okay? And so that's why the main competitors is a burnt clay bricks. Okay? We decide to choose burnt clay brick as the main competitor. Okay? And this is the business model. Okay? So we asked for 514,000 pounds to set out the factory with a capacity of 120 million BioRec bricks per annum. And we expect to get the payback or return of investment in 3 years' time. And in 6 years' time, we expect to generate profit of 815,000 pounds. And after that, we plan to merge with larger companies for sustainability, okay? For business sustainability. Okay? So with that, I end up my presentation. Thank you.
How do you manufacture these bricks?
Basically, the bricks is manufactured using the bacteria from the soil, bacillus bacteria. Okay? So these materials are available naturally in the soil. So that's why it's sustainable. You do not have to burn the bricks, no burning. Okay? It's mixed. Can I show the slides? Yeah. Okay. So basically, we have grown the bacteria in the red clay soil, utisols, and later on,
these bricks.
okay, it's durable. Okay, it's compatible with burnt clay brick. As you can see from here, the strength is 27.9 MPa, which is higher than the burnt clay brick. and it has a water absorption of 4.5%, which is less than the burnt clay brick. That means it's durable. Okay? And it's also lighter than the burnt clay brick, as you can see from here. So it's 1836 kilogram per meter cube for bio-red brick.
Ordered.
Yeah?
What stage is it come?
It has been ordered. The mixed design.
It's been awarded.
Yes,
Been awarded.
the mixed design for the bio-red bricks. Okay? So we apply for the patent for the mixed design.
And the process of manufacturing, I mean, bricks are heavy, so
Yes.
you would want them manufactured local to where they're used.
Yes.
So presumably your business plan is to license brick manufacturers around the world, or
So-
to do it yourself?
Basically, we want to collaborate with the brick manufacturers.
Yeah.
So to start up the business of the brick manufacturing. That's why I asked for 514,000
Right.
pounds to set up the factory, okay, to produce 120 million bio-red bricks per annum. That's
Okay.
the
And in order to be used for construction, bricks would have to
Yeah.
be certified. You know, they have to be. The authorities would have to say these bricks are durable, they will last 100 years, and so forth. What stage are you at in achieving those certifications?
Actually, let me explain to you first. So if you see the roadmap of the commercialization, okay, so I want to show the roadmap of get the contact.
Why did you decide to focus on the UK market in particular?
It's because in Malaysia, I already find out my partner. It's GIBS, and they are willing to collaborate with me to build the lightweight brick panel. And then I think, so it's important for me to go global. Okay? So I need to make sure that my brick is able to reach other countries as well. Okay? To show that it is important that the brick, the global warming, okay, that is a very serious issue. So if my brick can solve the burnt clay bricks, can be the alternative to burnt clay brick in Malaysia, why not in UK?
So I assume that your patent also covers the UK. You've got a worldwide coverage.
It's Malaysian patent actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have the ability to
Yes.
cover the UK as a region?
I don't have at the moment, okay, but it's Malaysian patent. Okay, the patent is Malaysian patent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give it up for Next up, Norziana, and the one after that is Ahmad.
Okay.
All set up?
Okay, ready? Okay, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning. Awesome judges, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first briefly introduce myself. I'm Norziana Jamil, and I'm working at National Energy University, a university owned by the largest utility provider in Malaysia, TNB. I have experience, 15 years of experience in cybersecurity. I'm also one of the Malaysian government's recognized expert in data security. I aim to set up a startup, and at the moment in a group we have 5 people we're coming from different backgrounds, so we are multidisciplinaries. Okay, today I'm going to speak about protecting critical national infrastructures. Most of the systems in the world could be easily hacked due to interconnectivity capability, and critical infrastructures are not excluded. So one of the examples is Ukrainian power grid led to the denial of service, causing their people to suffer from blackout for hours. And why is this happening? So critical infrastructure basically, including electrical power grid, is actually called a legacy system. where the components of critical infrastructure, we term it as operational technologies, were designed for reliability and safety, but not security. So most of the components of operation technologies basically coming with a very minimal security features. And the existing cybersecurity solutions are basically focusing on information technologies. They are not focusing on the operational technologies. Okay, so what we do, so with a seed fund of 600K USD, we develop hardware and also the software that protects critical infrastructure from cyber attacks. So it protects it by encoding the data using our own novel algorithm, which was filed last year. And it also authenticates data so that at the recipient end or at the receiving end, you will always know this data coming from which device, and it can also authenticate the genuinity of the instruction that it received. So unlike the other products, moving forward, it will also automatically detect the threats and also recommend the best equipment and configuration. Okay, so our product has been tested at TNB test field. It remains there, already passed all the tests, and it is now remain there for 6 months for us to monitor its progress. So in terms of business model, we opt for IP licensing. So we keep the maintenance service for every year. To allow us to recruit more team, technical director, 1 product engineer, 3 more contract workers, and also the commercialization team for us to move forward. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So you'll have 30 seconds left for the questions.
So,
please go on.
Who else is doing this? Who are your competitors? You say there aren't any, I think, but there must be some, surely.
Yeah. So one of the up to our knowledge, there is one competitor from United States called CEL, Strategic Engineering Laboratory. They come up with a security solution, same as us, but it's actually for operational technology. However, we have the advantage in terms of the algorithm. So our algorithms are lightweight, and it really produces very minimal latency to the communication because critical infrastructure cannot compromise on the latency. So that is one. And number 2, we also have another extra feature in the solution, which we call cyber threat intelligence. It's a feature where it can detect the threat automatically and then make a recommendation of what to be done. And this cyber threat intelligence is not a feature provided by CEL. So usually cyber threat intelligence comes in a form of software. Usually it is sold separately. So if an organization wants to have the hardware together with the cyber threat intelligence software, they have to purchase it separately, and that is not the case of ours. So we combine it together.
Can I try and understand the basis of your solution? The problem is with these sort of situations is denial of service attacks. So the nodes on the internet are attacked by thousands of users.
Yep.
The problem is not finding the one that's the real one. The problem is coping with all of the thousands of attacks. Yes? Mm-hmm. So how, I don't understand how you defeat the denial, you know, these thousands and millions of attacks coming from all sorts of ways.
Thank you. So I take an example, electric power grid. So it has substation that generates electricity, and then it has another substation called transmission, where it transmits the electricity and distributes the electricity to the customer. So, so this is called operational technologies, and they are legacy system because the engineers who designed long time ago, they didn't, the cyber security, they don't think about from the perspective of cyber security. So, so every devices in the operational technologies, they have their own language when they want to talk to another device. And the language that they use are not the internet kind of language like TCP/IP that has a lot of, a number of security features. So the language that used by the operational technologies, most of them are without security. So So if they have already installed the operational technology, how do we come in? We don't really need to patch. We just put the device as a bump in the wire. So just plug into the hardware device, and it will do the processing, the cryptographic processing, and then it will go out to the network. So that is number one. So at the recipient end or at the receiving end, when the device receives the data, it can really know this data coming from which device and whether or not this is a genuine instruction.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your marketing strategy, who the clients are that you're looking to license to and how you're going to reach them?
So at the moment, the business model we're thinking of is on IP licensing, meaning that we just license out. Interested in collaborating with us to market it out in Singapore and also at at Asia level. So that is the first attempt for marketing. So that would be our first trial, I would say.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Managed to cover a lot of ground there. Ahmad next, and Kasturi, please prepare.
Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Ahmad Atif Muhammad Fauzi. I'm from Malaysia. I will be presenting my topic of work, water tank cleaning robot, which is very important for our usage. And today in my hotel, I was very surprised that I can drink clean water from the water tap. And this is not possible in our country and also most part of the world where many people can afford to have this clean water, which leads to health issues. And in my house, I have to install a filter which cost me...
Spoken to two venture capitalists here, and they are very much interested in the project. And definitely because the idea is new, and the algorithm that we have developed is something totally noble, and that helps. And any product, the product change according to the specification, and that can be embedded into the dictionary. And the dictionary can be modified by anybody who are actually working at the site.
These returned goods, what are they by and large? Is it clothing? Because my daughter buys all her stuff online, tries it on in the bedroom, and then sends all of it back apart from one thing. It seems such a waste. But is it clothing or is it other things?
It's clothing as well as even the items that we use at home, like in terms of like vacuum cleaner, in terms of like kitchen items, utensils, and all that.
Okay. Have you approached any of the big companies yet, or are you looking at hitting up smaller companies with your search engine?
We have spoken to, as what I said just now, two venture capitalists here, and they are known. And the thing that they don't have and they have not thought of is this, the preference. And how we actually make the difference is because we have pioneered this, and we have a solid, tried version in terms of telling everybody, look, we have done it, and we have done better than others.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to? Yeah, one last question.
Do you have any evidence, sort of actual empirical evidence, that the algorithm leads to better purchasing decisions that could give these benefits that you've talked about for the companies?
Yes, because we have written, the thing is, it's evidence in terms of you're talking about our algorithm, is it? Okay, because of the comparison that we have made with the current research, the algorithm in terms of ranking and in terms of preference, we have better accuracy compared to them. So that basically, make us to be better than the others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give it up for Kasturi. Well done. Coming up next, Pinjan and Badriya, please prepare.
I think I didn't do well.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. You have your 3 minutes now.
Right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our product, Photo Power X, a product for the power transformer maintenance. Over the last few decades, we are looking at power transformer explosions that have taken away hundreds of lives. And the next question in our mind would immediately be, how can we detect it before it happens? Conventionally, we are looking at the standards of measuring the transformer oil content to know the transformer condition. This is how we do. We're sampling the oil from the transformer, send it to the lab, and then wait for almost 2 weeks before getting the results. But with our product here, what we are utilizing is really a shorter wavelength of optical sensing that enable higher portability at a much lower cost. Everything now can be done just within on-site in the power substation. Now looking at this comparison table of current and also previous technology, the first 3 items are talking about the cost comparison, the 4th one in terms of the time, but we would also like to highlight here really in terms of the very little amount of oil volume needed, which is 3 to 5 ml. That translates into very little transformer oil waste. $4 million in 4 years with a targeted sales of 260 units. With this, we are offering a 15% equity based on our company values for this investment. Here we are in Photo Power X, inviting you to join us in this interesting journey of making energy cheaper, safer, and more sustainable. Thank you.
Any questions?
Can you tell me what trials you've done so far with your device?
So if we look at the timeline, actually we have done, the trial is using a validation of IEC standard.
Can I ask about the market you've chosen here? Because you're talking about the oil quality, I mean, that leading to perhaps a failure of the system. Yeah. And it does seem to me that there are many larger markets where testing, you know, pumps or turbines or all sorts of situations where the oil quality is important to the success of the process. Much larger markets than transformers, I think. No? Why have you chosen transformers?
Right. So our initial study was focusing on just transformer oil. Yes, I agree with you that we are looking also at other aspects, such as palm oil, because palm oil have the very similar properties with transformer oil. Yes, we don't have very good verification yet. We are working with Malaysian Palm Oil Board to do some work on, but that is more in the research phase. It's not so much in the proven technology yet. But the potential is definitely there, yeah.
Can you tell us more about your geographical strategy, so where you're targeting first and what you're going to move on to after that?
Right. We have some calculation on that. Initially, what we are looking at is 2020 we'll start selling, and that will be all within Malaysia. So starting from 2021, we are looking forward to Southeast Asia market and also Asian market. That's why we need a global IP filing for that to happen.
Okay. Any more questions? No? If that's it, thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.
Coming up next, Badaria. Ganesh, please prepare for your turn. Your 3 minutes start now.
Good morning. My name is Badaria. Today, I'm looking for capital investment for business expansion of our product called MySite, which is a crowdsourcing asset digitization app. A power company in Malaysia that I know has embarked on a multi-million 10 years project to digitize their huge number of assets. However, after 6 years, they only managed to digitize half of the targeted assets. This is because they need to spend so much money on appointing specialized data collectors as well as costly devices. So, to solve this problem, we offer them a very cheap data collection method. It's cheaper because the companies no longer need to use specialized data collector. They can just utilize their employees, and their employees can just use their smartphone rather than dedicated devices to collect data for the company. With the software, the estimated cost per asset will be a lot cheaper, and the total cost saving will be quite significant. Quality assurance, sales, and support. And at the end will be our customer. We have made our sales, so we know that our idea has been validated. The lead customer is Malaysia's largest power company in Malaysia. To date, we have received £33,000, and we are using subscription model, and the price varies with usage and number of employees in of our customers. Our product is actually very scalable, and it can be applicable to any utility companies. So we know that our market size would be a lot bigger than this one. However, our next stage is actually to expand our business to Asia regional market. So today I'm looking for investment to expand our business to the regional market. As you can see in the blue area, you can see the potential growth in that regional area. So I'm asking for 100,000 for business expansion, mainly to cover for our localization costs and sales. Invest in our product, and we shall bring your investment together with our software. Thank you.
Can you explain how your application works?
How my application works?
Yeah.
Basically, we are applying the concept of crowdsourcing. So we let the employees of our company to install the application in their device. And they can go anywhere during lunchtime, during weekend and whatnot, whenever they detect the assets of the company, because they naturally can easily identify the assets of the company, and they can help digitize the location of the assets, and it will be stored in the database. And other employees can easily see the assets on their mobile phone.
What sort of protection do you have? Could I copy what you've got?
Yes. I have filed one patent. It is still pending. I have 7 copyrights, and I also have filed for 2 trademarks.
Okay, it strikes me, I mean, what you've shown us so far is the way of collecting this data.
Yes.
But how do you analyze that data later? If I if I wanted to look at every transformer in my power system and check when it was last serviced, how would I do that?
Okay, actually what I've shown you is actually a part of the software. It is actually, my site consists of two parts. One is the mobile app to do the data collection, and we have the admin dashboard, which is in web-based system for the administrator to do the monitoring of the assets collected.
Okay. And the other thing, you put up some market sizes. They seem very small. You said 2 million. Did you just pull that slide up? That one?
Yeah.
1 million and 2 million. That
Yes.
seems a very small market size.
Correct. We are being conservative here because we don't really know the actual size of the power companies in our region. But in Malaysia, that's the number that we have.
Any more questions? No, then let's give it up for Badri.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Ganesh. Ganesh, please come in front.
Can you please stand it?
Yeah, try.
Give it a second. Time. Let's test it.
This goes this side, right? Okay. This is here, this is here. Okay.
Let's try.
No. Okay. Okay, it's this.
Let's try. Let's check. What's the issue with the deck? Okay, now that the slide deck is up, you can start. Your 3 minutes
Okay.
start now.
Surgeon butchers patients for parts. I and Dr. Frankenstein are guilty of this heinous crime. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Dr. Ganesh, and I am a pediatric surgeon. I'm not alone in facing this problem. All my surgical colleagues from all surgical disciplines all over the world are faced with a similar dilemma. Sadly, there is no effective solution to date. Well, there is one today. Reginoska, a Swiss-Malaysian startup company, we've developed an off-the-shelf, easy-to-use, regeneratively efficient biomaterial for surgical applications. Now, it is a patented technology that has been endorsed by my clinical colleagues. Healthcare is a right of every individual in the world. This technology provides for a cost-effective alternative that is safe with good clinical outcome for the patients. Our initial entry market is in urethra, and then we're going on to bladder surgeries. Subsequently, we'll start moving on to more lucrative market segments. But why urethra? Why urethral stricture? Well, we've got great preclinical data in this field, and we have confident urologists in our technology who are willing to embark in a first-in-man clinical trial in 2019. Now, just like Dr. Frankenstein who had Igor, I have a capable team of bioengineers, surgeons, and an entrepreneur who are going to ensure the fact that Reginoska achieves its goals and targets. Now, we're looking for a strategic partner with $500,000 US to ensure the fact that we can complete this first-in-man clinical trial, followed with new preclinical data in other market segments. Now, our long-term objective is looking at exit, a trade sale in 6 years. In this industry, in our industry, a similar like company, LifeCell, which has soft tissue material related to anterior abdominal wall defects and breast reconstruction, was acquired by Allergan in 2017 for $2.9 billion US. Now, just like Dr. Frankenstein, we in Reginoska believe that regenerative medicine will provide parts for all. Thank you.
Hello. What is this scaffold material?
Well, the current scaffold material that we have fabricated is actually made out of bovine collagen. So what we've done is we actually patented the fabrication method. And now in the patent, which we filed in 2017, and now currently in national phases in the US, Europe, and in Malaysia, the patent actually goes on the fabrication method with regards to any biomaterial. So we can use collagen, we can use silk, we can use fibroin, so we can use anything to make it. But in our hands. And what we've been doing so far, we've been working with collagen and bovine collagen specifically because that's the most commonest biomaterial that is in medical practice.
So it's the fabrication process.
That has been
And what
patented.
is that?
That is, well,
it's patented, isn't it?
Yes. So you need to sign an NDA with me if I was going to tell you a little more than that. But actually,
if it's patented, it's in the public
well,
domain.
actually, the fabrication process goes back to the size and the porosity of the material that we've created. The reality is what we looked into when I started this journey, coming from a surgical background, was why was I not using the material that was already in the market? So we went back, we worked on the material, and we realized the fact that the materials are either fabricated on two extremes of it. Now, if you really look at the players you have the patient and you have the surgeon. Now, in the patient, it is the cells. And then you have the surgeon who has to work with the material for the cells to regenerate. We took every stakeholder's play into it and fabricated a material that sort of works on for everybody. So it's not favorable to one person, but it has to be a balance for it to achieve it. So we got surgeons working on the material from day one, and we looked at different cell types, specifically in the urology field. That's why we have data for urethra and bladder. And we looked at urothelial cells, smooth muscle cells, and skeletal cells, and saw how they worked on with the material.
Okay, do you have to get FDA approval for this?
Of course. We definitely need to get FDA approval and EMA approval. And if you look at one of the biggest cost factors that we are looking at is our first in-man clinical trial we got IVQAA. Now, these guys were Quintels. They were the biggest CROs in the world. And the reason being is we're going to run the clinical trials in Malaysia, but thanks to harmonization, that data can be used for EMA submission. And of course, for FDA, a little more complicated. We need a slightly more documentation later. But that you're going to look at maybe 5 years down the line.
Are any of the big boys looking at this as well and created competitive products or coming to market soon?
Well, it's a competitive market. If you look at the very first slide that I showed, Medtronic, Cook, Johnson & Johnson, they've all got products in the market. I still not change my surgical practice. I still chop one part of your skin and fix it to the other side. The reason it doesn't work. The uptake is not too good, and the fact that why am I paying for a biomaterial? Now, what we did is, with our data, specifically with Cook Biotech, they have a design material called BioDesign. And when we compared our urethral data head-on with their data, we managed to get far better results with our biomaterial. So we actually met people from Medtronic and Covidien, and they are looking actually at our first in men, and then trying to engage us as we move along.
And have you made any progress in persuading other practitioners around the world to adopt your for trials?
This is something that we started doing very early on in development. I told everybody that you need to get the clinicians on board. We're the biggest stumbling block. And in 2018, I presented the International Urology Conference, and we had Sanjay Kulkarni. Now, he's the foremost urethral surgeon, along with Professor Bundy from University College London. And at the moment, they are keen on it, and they are just waiting for our first in man. So the urologist in Malaysia, the president of Malaysian Urology, who's the urethral surgeon, is going to undertake the first in man. I'm actually submitting the clinical trial application right now with my team.
Great, thank you very much. We are out of time. Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you.
Next up, Rahina Ibrahim. Okay, so your 3 minutes start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Rahina. I'm an architect and construction engineer who has more than 20 years in community services. I am the co-founder of Oceanori, providing seaweed support program for seaweed farmers in Sabah. I am very happy to be here today, this morning, because I want to share with you how we can have a sewage treatment technology to increase the income of farmers by 4 times. Sabah government aims to have the seaweed industry as same as the fishing industry by next year. However, the last 4 years recorded 38% production reduction. Why? This slide we share with you why. The best of the seaweed farm is on the continental shelf, but they are increasing informal structure coming up guess what? The farmers are polluting their own farmland because they have no unconnected sanitation system. Oceanori solution comes in 4 steps. First, the tanks clean the sewage. What is so special about our tank? It only has 7-hour HRT time. From 24 hours, that makes us able to make it very small at 350 liters. The seaweed harvest increase, the farmers make more profit, and for more profit, Oceanori can make more tanks. We compare with other systems, and our technology meets all the local requirements. But we found one critical factor. Technology alone cannot support the expansion. It needs land from the state, it needs finance, lots of it, and mobilization to buy the local community themselves. And this is why we established Oceanori to become a special project vehicle for the community. We have achieved this so far, and we look forward to 2019 to have our first pilot project kicking off before the end of the year. Market opportunity, we wish that all the seaweed farmers be involved in the production phase, where we expect 40 to 70% of seaweed increase, therefore increasing $50 a month income to $200 income. We are looking for partners who can help us go global, and that's why I'm here. Year 3 earning is 2.9 million, with a surplus of 1.35. Combined with the 3 years, we can create another village of the same. In conclusion, if you preserve your environment, you can prosper your community. So please join me to empower the indigenous community so that they can do something that we cannot do from our urban dwellings. Thank you.
Any questions from our judges?
I might have missed it, but what is it that you're asking for?
We are asking for 1.5 million to cover the production of the tanks, preparation of the seaweed farm, and drying process. It's a one-time seed fund.
Can I understand that this product here is a personal process, sewage processor?
It's an independent sewage treatment plant.
And that would be 1 per home?
1 per home that covers 5 FTE.
Okay, and so my problem here is the benefit for the seaweed farmer is very good, but they're not the one who's going to pay for this per home, are they? So
yeah, thank you for the question. This is why we couldn't move on the first 2 years of our project because they are so poor to even do anything about their problem. Yeah. So what we did was we created the Oceanori with the seaweed program so that they increase their income, that they can pay for their own technology. We have gone through discussion with the head villagers and the community themselves. They say if new money is coming in, that new money is going to pay, so they don't have the pain, additional pain to pay for the extra technology.
So that would be part of the process of the construction of their home this would be built in?
Their homes is there. This is the unique part. There are more than 600 existing timber villages. So the present technology cannot be hung below the toilet. You will crash the house. So this is very small that can be carried by boats, under the boats, below the steel columns, and installed manually and by hand.
Is there anything special about this design? Is there anything patented?
Yes. The design is unique because it's modular and you can open it, and that's why it can be carried on the boat. And when you install, there's a fin rib that you have the first slip on the column, on the timber column, and then you will hang this and come back, close, and then you close the top.
How often does this need service? How often will this need servicing and replacing?
Good. At the first generation design, it takes 6 months before the next dislodging happen. But we found that our result, with our last result, we can reduce some more the volume, so we can be as competitive as the other system, which is 1 year.
Any more questions? We have time for one last question.
How much bigger is the real tank?
Oh, how much bigger is the times 5?
Times 5.
Times 5. As tall as me. Very small. You can just hang it on the column.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the design criteria we put on. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Rahina. Thank you, judges, for your question. So just to sum up, we've had 10 pitches so far from Malaysia, and what a breadth of ideas and innovations. We've discussed everything from building new body parts to underwater cleaning robots, to protecting critical infrastructure, halal certification, building with bacterial bricks. We've discussed how to help customers make better purchases, power transformation, managing assets for utility companies, and sewage systems to increase seaweed harvest. Such a breadth. This is impressive. Well done, you. We have, applause for the... So we will continue now with our last 5 participants from Malaysia. Next up, Nurul. Here is your clicker. Do you want to test it? Yeah. Okay, you have 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes start now.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. My name is Husna and I'm from Malaysia. So let me start by giving you a question. Imagine if you're a bird that stuck in oil spill in the ocean, lack of oxygen, cannot swim, and eventually you will die. Do you want to die in a strategic way? Of course not. Therefore, as a citizen that concerned about the environment, I introduce to you the ocean sorbent that can overcome the oil spill that happen in the ocean that make from the palm oil waste. It is cheap, easy to handle, environmental friendly, recoverable, and the most important thing is it can be used up to 3 times, retaining the absorption rate up to 80%. What makes us different from others? Not only we overcoming the oil spillage, it can be turned into biodegradable plastic, which have the similar strength, 85%, same to the normal plastic. So which means by having one product, I can generate 2 revenue streams. So this is the competitive product that I have analysis, and you can see the ocean sorbent is cost effective, absorption rate up to 80%, and does not pollute the environment, which means the cost reduction is up to 30% reduction. So this is the roadmap of the project. As you can see at the early stage, we managed to secure top 3 initial 360 competition, and this is the milestone for another 3 years. So we are looking for the partners to do our packaging sector to produce biodegradable plastic, and what we forecast another 5 years is 1.6 million revenue stream. So what we are looking for is the first one is funding, which worth of $50,000 to cover patent, licensing, prototype development, and production costs. And we are also looking for the collaborative partner in packaging sector. So before I end my presentation, I want you to think again. Do you want to be the factor of someone else? Of course not, right? So if you want to invest in my journey to become my partner to protect the environment, do contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nurul. Any questions from judges?
Well, can I just get the basic product here? Are you proposing the biodegradable plastic, or what is it you're proposing?
Okay, the first one I propose is the oil absorbent itself. But once the market for the oil absorbent stable, then we are going to grow further to have a partner to go for the packaging, which is to produce the biodegradable plastic.
Okay. Question?
So I guess you can't tell us what the patent position is because you haven't filed a patent, and if you told us, then...
Yeah, currently we don't have any patent yet, but for this year, for this year master, we are going to patent the process itself.
Are you how confident are you about this patent, whatever it is that you're patenting?
Because the process is very special, so that's how we have to concern about it.
So the material that you're using as the absorbent plus the oil produces the plastic. Is that right?
The raw material to make the oil absorbent is from the palm oil waste.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Can you tell us more about who your first customers are going to be or who you're going to be targeting?
Okay, for the first customer and for the first targeted market is to be in Malaysia itself. So we have 9 oil and gas company, and what the first stage right now is I have make a first meeting with one of the largest oil company in Malaysia, which is the Petronas, and they will have collaboration to for the product development itself, and we can go further from that. Yeah.
Can I ask who's in the team currently?
I have a team consists of 3 people. Myself is still a student. I can say I'm a third year student. I'm working with my supervisor. One of them is chemical engineering background. Another one is the finance background. Yeah. So we are recruiting as well for the sales and marketing executive.
Can you just go back to your timeline slide?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, is $1.6 million a lot in 2021 for?
No, it's in 2024.
Oh, 20.
Yeah.
So
we are going to start selling in 2020. So which means this year we are targeting to have patent filing.
You're going to start selling in 2020?
Yeah. And to have first trial at early stage in the industrial scale. Yeah.
Who are you going to sell to? Who is going to buy the first product?
We are targeting oil and gas company and also the local authority. We have like Majlis Pembandaran in Malaysia itself that will help to maintain the ecosystem in Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, last question, if you have one. If no, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation. Okay. Coming up next, Fatoni Usman. Yes. And Hassan Mohammed after that. So you've got 3 minutes. Do you want to test the clicker? Yeah. Okay, your time starts now.
Hi, good morning. My name is Fatoni. I'm here to talk about saving our natural resources. And then the old fashion of construction industry, emitting pollution and consume the huge amount of natural resources, and also it is causes of cost overing and also material wastages. Imagine if we can provide solution and solve the problems. I am a nationally recognized expert in the field of value engineering and building information modeling. Together with my team, we have more than 50 years experience in providing solution for energy infrastructure asset development and energy infrastructure asset management. We developed a system, web-based software platform. This enables building designers to work together virtually, planning and executing energy, the most construction efficient project. And then this solution is 60% faster and 20% cheaper compared to the traditional one. And then it is significantly less wasteful. And then the local market in Malaysia in construction industry, it is 6 billion per annum. And then project in Malaysia, project over 10 million pound sterling require value engineering study. And then Public Work Department Malaysia will use a version of our software. And then we expect contractors who are doing the project for public work department to pay to use a similar software version of our software. Estimated market is 6 million per annum. The sales and profit in 2020 will be 2.4. Profit will be 1 million. Now what we ask is the 100,000 of investment in Q3 of this year for significant minority stakes in the business, and then to hire commercialization team, including sales, consultants, and also software developer. Alongside of this funding, we believe we will get significant grant. Potentially, it is about 500,000 pounds sterling to broaden the features of the software this year. Thank you.
What do you mean by significant minority stake?
Significant minority stakes. It is
Yeah, like
actually is the share of the equity of the project that we gain from the revenue will be some sort of, it's not so big, something like that.
So I'm not too sure. If I put my hands in my pocket and offered you some money, how much would I get? How much equity would I get?
This is quite difficult for me to answer. But
there's people here with money, so they would want to know. So how much would they get?
How much?
Yeah, how much equity would they get if they put their hands into their pocket and gave you the money?
Yeah, 20%.
Pardon?
20%.
20%.
Yes.
Can I just understand where you are with this? You're in a university department. You've been consulting with the local public authorities, and you've developed your project management system for them.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now, so you think that this might have a commercial market outside this relationship with the public
yes,
sector?
because as I mentioned previously, the project in Malaysia, project that have amount of more than 10 million pounds sterling, they have to go through the value engineering studies thoroughly. And then it is taken 9 months of exercise intensively. So then we provide the solution. And then when the contractor using this software, they're complying the requirement of the public government.
But there must be many systems available around the world for construction that does this type of analysis.
For value engineering analysis, traditionally they are doing in project base, and then it is still manual. People need to meet in one room, do discussion, and then do evaluation, and do a lot of evaluation for the project, and then it is very manual.
Okay.
Yes.
So, is there any reason why a company doing this process would use your system as opposed to a commercial, a well-established international commercial product?
Yeah, it is possible to do it commercialize internationally, because this is a platform where we can invite the international people to be in the system. So then, basically, it is a platform. So virtually, then the engineers or the designer from all around the globe can be participated.
Carry on. You covered my question. Oh, right. Okay. And your projections for revenue.
Yeah.
Can you just get back to that slide?
Okay.
60 million.
Yes. It is 10% of the total local market of construction industry. So where we have 10 million project need to be conducted the value engineering process. So this is 10%.
The total market for this thing, but I mean, presumably your addressable market is much smaller than that.
Yeah, sure. So then it is based on project base, and 2% of the project overall the project cost. This is a revenue of our service. So that's why we can calculate that within 2 years, the revenue is 2.4 million, and then the profit after the overhead will be 1 million.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Coming up next, Hassan Mohammed.
Thank you very much. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Hassan Muhammad. Today, I'm looking for a CEO for my company. Now, let me begin with one interesting fact. For 1 hour of sunlight for any given day is enough to power the whole world for 1 year. It is very interesting, isn't it? Unfortunately, we do not have that capability to fully harness the energy yet. But the potential is massive. That is why we at Sensla Technology has developed a smart floating solar platform, which has a 3 degrees of freedom of motions from a proprietary algorithm that can rotate and also can tilt in order to maintain the 90-degree angle of the sunlight. The benefit is it can increase the energy capture by 30%. Our technology has a huge market. It is estimated in 2022, there will be about 232 gigawatt of solar PV will be installed. That is equivalent to about $278 billion US. For our sector alone, which is the mounting and structure, it will be about $56 billion US. Our business model is simple and clear. We would like to supply the structure to the solar companies, our business partners. Now, what we have now is that the suppliers sell the structure for about 12% of the total installation cost. For our product, Sensla, we're going to sell about 20% of the total installation cost because the value that we provide, the increase in terms of energy by 30%. So currently, we have tested and validated the lab scale prototype, and we have received awards and recognitions, and one of them is the famous James Dyson Award. This year, we want to find the right CEO in order to build our team, so that can be built and test and to build the largest scale of the prototype. And hopefully by 2020, we can supply to Malaysians and other countries in Southeast Asia. We expected to get $24 million US for having a 100 megawatt project. Globally, we're going to expand our market to large other countries. We expect about $144 million for 600 megawatt project. Currently, our team consists of 4 members, and all of them are engineers. None of them has business experience. That is why today we are looking for a CEO, the right CEO, that can build our team, hire the right team members, can raise funds, and also find the strategic business partners, so that we can produce 120 megawatt per year, which eventually we can reduce about 120,000 tons of coal and about 700,000 tons of carbon dioxide being released annually. With that, I will say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a bit of a more unusual ask. What are your questions,
well,
judges?
The ask is pretty clear. So this solar panel effectively tilts around, it floats on the sea.
Yep, that's right.
And the selling point is that it's cheaper to float on the sea than to put it on land.
Yep, true.
So do you need, so whereabouts in this thing's going to be pretty big, isn't it? It's not like...
it is big. It is big because if you see the news nowadays, Singapore is actually planning to have a floating panel about 100 megawatt, maybe this year and coming onwards. In fact, last year actually, China already installed about 40 megawatt floating platform. In fact, I was contacted by one of the biggest Bangladesh companies, I will name it, and they plan to be installed in Bangladesh and also some certain countries in Southeast Asia. It's a very big market here.
Are there any, so those are the ones you just described are the existing floating solar platforms? Mm-hmm. I guess they could be combined with duct systems to take energy out of the waves simultaneously.
Yeah, it could possibly integrate it with that as well, but we haven't looked into that yet. We just want to focus on the tracking part as well to make sure that it is producing about 30%. Because the 30% that we got is from the lab data, but we still have to test it and prove that the value that we're going to get is somewhere around that value. But it's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
So your technology is the tilting aspect, no current?
We have 2 things that we did, actually. First, we copyrighted the algorithm. So the algorithm need to make sure that, because we have 3 degrees of freedom, the one that is important is 2 degrees of freedom. The another one is a passive one to overcome the buoyancy. The 2 degrees of freedom is to just want to make sure that we move less, but we maximize the energy. Another thing that we patent is the design and the functions. So it's a module unit where you can add it more and multiple platforms whenever you need it. Another thing is we don't move individually, we move the whole thing as together to reduce the energy consumption. And obviously you have the tilting part as well.
And that's not currently available in the one China's.
No,
put
the
in.
one in Korea. If you see in the YouTube, there's a Korea one. It's a slightly different mechanism how they move it all overall together, but that one will include a lot of complication in terms of wiring. So the one that we have has a slightly different way that you move all together.
Can we ask about the IP protection here? Do you have patents pending? Or?
Yeah, we just filed a patent recently because the idea just came recently in early 2018 when we competed in the Dyson Award. So we patented that, and then it still hasn't been granted yet. I guess just go through the process.
And I guess my other question is weather, bad weather. You know, you have cyclones, perhaps. You have you know, tsunamis.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So the whole system could just be wiped out. Yeah.
We limit ourselves for the first for the early assessment. We limit ourselves to the dead, calm water, like the lakes. Right. We haven't ventured to the sea yet because it's going to be very, very difficult situations. But once, like I said, the CEO will be responsible to get raising fund because the fund will be used for, one of them will be used for more R&D in order to improve our product. Because our long-term future, we're going to install that in the seawater area because we do get some interest from the oil and gas industry where they want to power up the oil rig where they need about 1 megawatt. Yeah.
Any more questions?
This might seem like a rather stupid question, but
no question is stupid.
There's parts of the world which are really hot and sunny and covered in sand. And could you not, you know, could solar companies do a deal with such countries? And
sorry, one more time.
Could the companies that make these? I'm just thinking that your system floating on the sea. There's all sorts of issues about tsunamis and the, you know, who owns the sea there. Maybe you could put these things on land, in desert regions, and do deals with such companies. It's not what you're thinking about, but
it is what we actually also part of our plans. But since we just want to highlight the platform on the sea one, because there's a personal reason of that. Because look, you see in Malaysia, we have a small land. We don't really have a lot of lands. So, but then we have few lakes that we don't use at all, like the mining area that we have used a lot. So that's the more our motivational point where we want to try to utilize all these lakes that are not being used by proposing the platform tracking system. But in the future, in the long run, we do have some ideas how to expand our market not only for the land, not only for the sea, but also for the land and also for any other water bodies.
Great, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Your time is up. 2 more presentations to go, and the next up is Sarveen. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, your time starts now.
Okay, so hi, my name is Sharveen, and basically I'm from the business development for Mark Boat. It's where my company is. And basically what we're doing is we're making it easy for anybody to do video or image analysis. And my background is, I'm coming from an engineering and financial background. So I was at Accenture and JP Morgan. And one of the things we realized is a lot of companies out there, they have a problem with image processing where the products delivered is very, very poor. I mean, it's very rubbish. So we really want to improve on this. So we came up with a solution. What we're trying to do is basically provide a service where a user pays per users for artificial intelligence. And this in kind gives a lot of companies, change out the model. Instead of capital expenditure, you give variable expenses. And then you give a high increased development on speed and agility of the company. And also you give intelligent capabilities in minutes instead of months. So what we are looking at is a very huge industry over here, 180 billion worth. But our sector is, we're starting off in a small sector first, which is about $90 million, which is the image and video analysis. This is an example or a demo of an illustration of the product. So one of it is the safety. We are looking at helping agencies and civilians increase safety and also assurance. And it also abides with the Sustainable Development Goals of number 16. Next is asset inspection. Asset inspection is a massive, massive industry where you're looking at oil and gas, construction, and you're helping agencies reduce risk. And it's also aligned with the goals of number 9 in the SDG. And lastly, agriculture technology. Now, agriculture technology is super hot in Asia, and we really want to go on that growth, and we really want to help people out there. We want to help farmers increase yields, and that is very aligned with SDG number 8. So what's our competitive advantage? First of all, we are first to market, And in the data age, being a first to market is really, I think is a really strategic move. And we are looking at local data acquisitions, companies in Malaysia itself. Next is also, we are very reliable. We are running on Google Cloud platform. So you don't really hear of Google going down, so won't we. And lastly, low cost. So MDAC, a corporation of Malaysia, has 10 years of tax exemption. Yep. So our business model is really simple. We charge a $2 fee for every 1,000 image processed. And we're looking at a very, so out of the $90 million industry, we're looking at a very conservative figure of 5% share, where we charge $2 of average fee for every 1,000 image processed. And lastly, we're looking at $9 million in revenue projected. This is our market entry. For security, we're licensing with the government of Penang. Asset inspection, we are going with our partner Petronas. And lastly, for ACAC, we are going with Felda. So what we need from you guys is 50K in angel round. We are prepared to give 10% in equity. 80% of that will be going to engineering and marketing. And we're looking at raising about 500 in revenue in about 18 months. So this is our team. We're very diverse, from econs to engineering. We are relatively young. Yep. So thank you very much for your attention, and we really look forward in your assistance.
Any questions from judges?
Okay, I'll start. Help me here. Who's the if I'm one of your customers, what do I look like? I mean, I don't know who I don't know who you're selling to.
Okay, so I'll just give a demonstration so it's easier to understand.
That's a bit of a trick to use more of.
All right. So I'll come to answer your question. The current clients would be companies which are going on digitalization, who are digitizing themselves. So to put it on a broad perspective, now every company in there are going to transform their business model. So I was at the back there. I just took a picture, and I did some image analysis. And the picture itself showed that it has 82% confidence that this is a community-based event where people are having conversations and adaptations. So it's fairly accurate. So any company, whether it comes from camera products or microphone products, any company that's going into the digitalization age will want to use our software.
So I don't know what your software adds.
It adds context to image and video.
Under thousands of products that do that.
Okay, so most products, they are riding on a backbone on one of the cloud services, whether it's Google, Amazon, or Azure. So we are looking into that segment. How are we different is basically we are looking at local data segments. So in Malaysia, for example, agriculture tech, that data is only available in Malaysia. So we're looking in that market. For safety and health, for safety reasons, mapping of local territory is only available in Malaysia. So that's where we can compete. We want to be best at where we are.
Okay, so I do understand that, but it seems to me you have to have a target. You have to say you're going, say agriculture, and then you have to add a value to the agricultural system, don't you? I mean,
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess my question's sort of a follow-on from that, which is you mentioned a figure of 500,000 revenue.
Yep.
Where's that revenue going to come from?
Okay, so currently we are partnering up with Petronas and also the government of Penang. So they're really pushing forward for capturing images and video analysis and actually making a lot of sense in what does image and video mean. So we're actually partnering up with them, and they will be our pilot customers.
So these are confirmed pilots, or are they paying for the service?
Not paying yet, but they're ongoing with development.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask what Petronas are doing at the moment?
Like at the moment?
Yeah, right,
so,
right now, before they engage with you.
Okay, so at the moment, how they're doing is their day-to-day or the BAUs of their personnel, how they do it is they take pictures and send it on Instagram, and then somebody in the HQ would scribe down what those pictures mean. Oh, sorry, not Instagram, WhatsApp. WhatsApp.
You didn't mention drones, but is that part of your product offering?
Yeah, so we start off with drones. because it's in Malaysia, it's a very safe space or safe market to enter, and then we expand to other capabilities. Yep.
Okay, we are out of time. Thank you very much, Celine. And the last but not the least, Mohammed. You ready?
Yep.
The 3 minutes start now.
Hello and very good morning to everyone. My name is Azrin. I represented from my organization, MIC, together with our technology partners, which is one of the subsidiary under the national utility company known as TNB. So today I'm going to pitch with regards on the total green energy management with a special tagline of tackling the risk of green energy adoption. Ladies and gentlemen, nowadays we have a very serious issues which regards on the energy industry. With the current scenario of depleting source of fossil fuels, and it contributes toward the increasing energy bills that the consumer need to pay. This also contributes towards the high emission of greenhouse gases, and thus there is a need of urgency for us to move toward the usage of renewable energy. Looking into the market landscape for Malaysia, Malaysia has a very good potential for the adoption of green energy, in particular solar energy, because we do have a very good climate condition. On top of that, we do have a few green policies supported by the government, all are in place. And recently, Malaysia set a new target to achieve 20% of clean energy generation by 2030. Unfortunately, at this point of time, our clean energy generation is around 2.5%. You can see the big gap is there. So these constraints are due to the several factors. The first factor is due to the high capital cost. Second factor is due to the long-term payment of ROI. The third factor is due to the technology risk, which is going to be absorbed by the consumers. So I'm here to actually offer some sort of solution that can actually address this kind of issues, which is for the consumers to apply and to install solar PV for the renewable energy generation together with the energy efficient lighting with the innovative business model to the consumers. Now the question is, what is the model for the solar PV? Technical-wise, we are going to install solar PV at your rooftop based on your energy demand. So the benefits on the commercial side, there is no capital cost for you. For you to install the solar PV, there is no maintenance cost and the solar power purchase contract agreement between us. We are going to offer 10% lower than the current electricity tariff to you. On the energy efficiency, technical-wise, we are going to retrofit your building with the LED lightings. On top of that, you are going to have a monitoring and management system for you to manage your energy. There's no capital cost and the operation and maintenance cost will be absorbed by our company. We provide a guaranteed saving of minimum 10% energy savings, and from there we are going to have profit sharing basis around 80 to 20 ratio. So what's next? With the current achievement, we do have a very good track records in terms of the installation at the highway facilities, whereby they install LED lightings along the highway roads. So the purpose of my pitching today is to ask if you are able to actually connect and provide a linking to us in order for us to explore global future market opportunity, in particular large power consumers, it will be great to us. So I would like to end my speech by saying that we are not just here to make money, but we also support towards the socio-economic development through the Newton Fund, so that the consumer can use green energy and to make some passive income. If you have interest, please contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions from judges?
Can I ask where you are now and how are you funding it?
Yeah, we do have a local investor and foreign direct investment.
And have you installed in buildings and companies currently?
Yes, because we do have, So in Malaysia, basically in Malaysia we do have a very niche market scenario, whereby we identify who is the large power consumers, and we identify this targeted sector. Is there a green policy that can actually drive towards accelerating in the green energy adoption? If this targeted sector, let's say highway operators, we use a green policy driven, and from there we actually penetrate to the markets, especially for highway operators. Like other sectors, like ICT sectors, we are aiming for data centers buildings, in which they are among the large power consumers. Energy guzzler operate around 24 hours. So that is where we actually connect between the policy driven and the market driven.
And you're funding all the upfront costs for all the hardware?
Yes, correct.
Like that. And you're currently doing that?
Yes, correct, exactly.
Okay, can I understand the business model here? Because, I mean, I put solar panels on my house.
Yep.
And it cost me £9,000, and I get about £600 a year back for doing that. So it's going to take me 10 years
ROI
to pay for my panels.
Yeah.
I don't understand how your business model works
Right.
if you're doing it for free.
Okay, this is for Malaysian context. Basically, you install a solar PV, we are going to incur that cost for the capital cost. And then during the daytime, you are going to pay and use energy from the solar, and we offer cheaper electricity tariff compared to the current one that you pay to the national grid. So from there, we make money. In Malaysia context, let's say the current electricity tariff for one building is around 50 cents per kilowatt hour. So we offer around 30%, around 30 cents per kilowatt hour. We are going to get our ROI around 50 years, and then we are going to have a contract agreement around 25 years. All right, for energy savings, sorry. Let's say, look into the sky. Not into the slide, the sky. You see that this is kind of LED lightings. There are some unperformant LED lightings. What we do is that we are going to do an energy audit at that particular building. We are going to tell you that how much the energy consumption per each lightings. So we are going to replace with the new LED lightings, which has a very efficient energy, around 50% of energy saving. From that saving monthly, we are going to have profit sharing basis. It can be 80-20, it can be 70-30. Of course, it will tie up with the ROI.
What's unique about your approach that's going to stop people from being able to copy you?
In terms of the competition market, in terms of resource, we do have a very reputable track records. In terms of skill in doing the energy audit, we have a very good methodology, compliance with the standards. We do have a very good financing backup compared to the other competitors, because normally when they submit for financing loans, they have a very stumbling block on that.
So you put these things on other people's roofs, mainly factories and big things like that.
Yeah, correct.
Presumably it's not on domestic dwellings.
Correct.
You don't put it on people's houses then?
Basically, on the domestic, we are currently finalizing in terms of the business model. This model is very suitable with the large power consumers, because we do have a great savings. We can make, with a large space, we can actually make a very greater profits. For the commercial, we are currently, as I said, we are currently identify the right business model and how this can be adopted at the residential level.
So you're effectively buying land, aren't you, really?
No, we are aiming a building space.
No, not buying it, but you're getting space, somewhere to put your panels.
Yes.
Yeah, and space is rare.
Along the process,
scarce.
Yeah, along the process, let's say if you own a building, we are going to do the roof audit to tell you either this building is suitable or not for the solar PV installation. And of course,
there's issues about who actually maintains the roof. If you're up there with all your solar panels and you like mess that roof up, who's responsible? You know,
right.
There's some issues there, aren't there?
That's why, as I mentioned,
so you do an audit.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Let's give it up a round of applause for all participants from Malaysia. Well done. So the hard bit is over for you now. You can relax, have a tea, a coffee. We're going to break right now for the coffee break, and we will reconvene again in the same space, in the same group at 11:30. So we've got 30 minutes. Participants from Indonesia, you've heard the judges' questions. Think of answers that you would give if you were in front. You have extra 30 minutes to give a brilliant presentation and answer. Okay, thank you very much. We'll pause right now the video streaming and we'll break. Thank you.